Next segment, Corey. What do you want to chat
Michael,
about, mate?
this thing is bothering me so much. I'm gonna try messing with the All right. So this one is very top of mind for me because I just had this conversation with some stakeholders, and they look at Google Ads and what I would consider a more traditional way of when they think about search, because search is number one for them. They're not in the e-com space. It's all lead generation, high ticket items, and it's a high amount of competition in a niche marketplace, right? So for them, when they think about branded search, they think about total dominance. We want to be 100%
Yeah.
on everything. And through some careful discussions, the realization was, guys, you usually don't want to be shooting for 100%. Now,
Mm.
Michael, I'm sure you've had clients like this in the past, right? There's no. Why isn't it 100%?
Yeah.
98% top impression share is not good enough.
Yeah, I've had it before.
You've had it before, okay?
Yeah. I think,
And how do?
yeah. Well, I'll let you continue and then I'll give you some of my insights
Okay,
and feedback.
all right.
I'm
Well, that
like, yeah, I
works.
agree.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Episode
End
over.
of
See you guys.
discussion. Okay, so look, I always look at it from a diminishing point of diminishing return standpoint. So if we're able to analyze that, if you have the resources to do so, make sure you're looking at are we by increasing our bids and paying more for every single click, are we actually driving more incremental conversions, revenue, whatever? Is that actually getting us higher lifetime value clients down the line? If you have that level of data, you probably don't. More often than not, once you start hitting 90-95% top impression share, you're just sacrificing cost per acquired customer. You're just spending more to get the same amount of customers. And I've seen that for so many years now, because this used to be a topic clients would bring up when they're less educated 5-6 years ago, going back even farther, where it's like we want 100%. Back in those, it was average position. Like we got to have 1.0 average
Yeah.
position, and we're like, guys, we are doing everything that we can to get like just below that. But in order for us to get to 1.0, or in this case, top impression 100%, we're going to have to spend twice as much for every single click, and that doesn't really make sense. And they're like, but what about the competition? Now they're going to show in auctions that we're not, and it's like, I mean, do you want to lose profits, or do you want to just ego bid? Because at the end of the day, that is truly the question here. Because if you just want to ego bid and show up all the time 100%, okay, that's your decision, but know that you're sacrificing profits. For some, that's okay. For most, it doesn't make sense. Michael.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I think it's good. Just to confirm again, we are just talking about brand.
Branded impression share, yeah.
Yeah. So there's multiple aspects to this where there's so many people over time, especially SEO people, that don't bid on your brand, you'll show up organically. It's like, bro, if you don't run brand ads, you'll just not be seen. In terms of this is interesting because the way I've gone about it in the past, especially for branded terms, is the reason why the numbers can look off or down is because the keyword structuring and negative keyword lists are not set up appropriately. So someone might be looking for your brand, let's just say Drink Cup. That's your company's name. And then that's your brand name. But then people are looking for Drink Cup coupon code, Drink Cup reviews. So then if you've got like Drink Cup as just like a phrase match in your brand campaign, you're going to be getting a lower impression share because you're competing against every company that's bidding on like those coupon sites or review sites. So I think the first thing structurally is to make sure that your campaigns are set up in a way where there's like an exact match of your brand and like a version that's like the review version, one that's a coupon version, one of like different versions. So then when you're looking at that search impression share, it's based on the intent of the person. If someone's straight up looking for your brand, ideally you want to show up higher and higher. If someone's looking for reviews, yeah. If someone's looking for coupons, whatever it is. And I think it's really important to ensure that when you're doing brands, so many people just lump every brand keyword into it. It's like, as long as it has our brand search term in it and the non-brand campaigns have or exclude our brand, it's fine. But this way you have more structure to visually see it. I think then strategically, you can start to talk about it as a line item. Now, most of the time, I never see clients with 100% brand impression share or any impression share. Like, it's very rare to hit that level. It's very hard to as well because there's so many contributing factors to it. So You know, if you're running a brand, it should be, 85, 80, 85, 90. And like that should just be standard. Because it's your brand, it should be in your URL. So you should have a high quality score.
Yep.
But dying on the hill of 100%, it's just like, it's like
For
someone
what?
who's like in good shape who's like, yeah, but I've got to lose like this 0.01%
Yeah.
body fat. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, chill.
Yeah.
It's all good.
We're doing the
No
right
one
things
notices.
right. Yeah.
No one cares.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
it's really, I think it's that there's people who are just like controlling that they'd like, it has to be this. Like,
Yeah.
dude, chill.
Yes.
It's nothing's going to bad's going to
It's
happen. Yeah, but
anxiety
this one
driven.
time
Yeah.
someone saw an ad with their competition higher.
Right.
Yeah, it's the auction, bro. Like things just happen. And the thing is, that person's probably paying, if you've got a competitor going after your brand term, they're probably paying 5 times as much just to be shown maybe even below it because the quality score isn't there,
Yeah.
or that they're really pushing hard to like, try to usurp you. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just silly to try and go for those.
But at the same time, you could be at the other end where you're like, nah, let's just not do brand. And we've all seen that before where we're going on Google, we search for a specific company because you want to log in or something like that. And it's like four other companies. And you
Especially
have to literally,
SaaS softwares.
yeah, and you
Like
have to scroll
Asana or
down to
Monday.
find, which means a lot of people are going to click on the wrong thing and then they might be swayed. I mean, how often that happens is
Yeah.
questionable.
And the ad copy is always like better than Asana question mark
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
like cheaper than this. And it's like so it's not only they're getting the traffic search, but they're also like planting negative seeds in their mind.
Yeah, which is a good strategy. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
against it. I think it's smart as long as the brand it follows the branding guidelines. Because some businesses don't want to do that; they don't want to punch down, which is understandable.
Yeah. I think a lot of those SaaS companies are always like growth, hashtag, like do whatever it takes. Like,
Yeah.
and they're just like punch down, up,
Yeah.
sideways, just punch the air, just punch wherever.
One thing that you said that it made me think about, well, if you do want to try to control it, let's say you have a stakeholder that's just really, or is like a CEO that's pushing the people you're talking to say, we need to get as close to 100% as possible. And you also are okay with, you want to bid on everything that's brand related. So it has, Acme versus whatever, because those tend to be, it's those comparison ones that tend to really bring down the overall campaign level impression share for your branded campaigns. So easy fix if you can. If it might be limited by volume, but if you want, you can just take those comparison or review ones, the things that are dragging your impression share down, put them in a separate ad group, write copy that's specific, which should be a best practice anyway if there's enough volume for it, and then measure that impression share by ad group. And if you want, you could cluster them together to say the non-review ones, what's the impression share for those, and then compare those separately from the ones that you are expecting and that you don't want to pay extra for. So you can, two things can be true. You can kind of have it both ways. Again, you might run into servability issues when you start doing that. But at the end of the day, I think we're both on the same page, Michael. You don't want to eco bid. You don't want to be shooting for 100% if it doesn't make sense. And you want to be testing these things out. And I actually, one of my favorite tests is to bring the branded bids down, especially during periods where seasonality is pretty stable. We're not expected to do a lot of promos or price reductions or whatever, and test. Let's bring the branded bids down, let's say 30% or so. See if we're actually able to drop CAC, and is that going to get us the same amount of conversions, right? You might see huge, and I usually do, see huge incremental gains. Yeah, we're not getting the same impression share, but we're getting sometimes more than we were before, because now all of a sudden the CPCs are lower, which is ironic, but you know how these things are. Sometimes it doesn't always make sense in a linear way. But anyway, just a little side note there. It is worth a test. You don't always want to be shooting for the top, and sometimes shooting for the top of the impression share can actually hurt you more than help you.
Yeah. And this also comes from the assumption that you've got an unlimited budget. Like you might only have a certain amount of budget, that dropping your bids actually gets you more clicks, which gets you more conversions, because they're usually like brand campaigns convert extremely high. Yeah. And if you're limited by budget every day, if you're bidding high, you might be showing higher, but you're actually, like if you've got $100 a day and your cost per click's $1, you're getting 100 clicks a day. If you drop that down to, 50 cents a click, you're getting 200. So you're getting twice as much traffic within budget. So it also comes down to the budget restriction. That will make a huge difference, because it's better to get more traffic at a lower impression share than less traffic at a higher impression share, kind of. And I think people forget these things. But some of these big clients, like most of the time, their campaigns are not limited by budget. But if they are, just be aware.
Yeah.
It's such a low hanging fruit. Like there's so many different ways to go about this. But the main thing is critical thinking. You can't just assume stuff because some client asked for it, it must be right.
Mhm.
Like just because they want it doesn't mean it's right. And look, if they do want it, sometimes it's like, well, that's the outcome of this campaign is high impression share. We don't talk about results ever. It's not both. Like you can't go this and that. It's either one or the other. Because when they want both, and everyone always wants both, it's just like, well, then you're going to be kind of getting half of one and half of the other, not 100% of one and 100% of the other one as well.
Yeah.
So really important just to be aware that just because clients request something and a business requests something does not mean it's right. And you also have the right to question it and also let them know the consequences that can come from it as well.
Absolutely. Okay.
Nice.